Hey, good morning. Having fun today. I said I have a great message for you today, and this is an interesting message. So, we're in a time of big change. We're in a time of big change in the world and a time of big change in the U.S. I'm not in the U.S., although this background is a house that Joy and I had in Phoenix, and actually out in Queen Creek. And where that white car is over my left shoulder, that was our car and our house behind there. It's sad because when we sold it in 2016, 9 years ago, the people that bought it then took all those trees out. And, it's too bad. Really sad. We went back and drove by it later, and all the trees in the front and back were gone, and everything was turned into concrete and gravel. And Phoenix is already hot. But taking all that out and putting more concrete and gravel in, that would have made the place a lot less hospitable, at least in our point of view. But we sold the house, and obviously they can do whatever they want. So I have a great message for you, and here's what it is. The world is going on around you. There's wars in the Middle East. There's wars in Europe. The United States just elected a new president, and it looks like there's a single-party sweep in Congress and the Senate and all that jazz. For some people, that's a panic. You see people just losing their minds about the end of the world, and you see others rejoicing about that. I want to talk about you individually. Here is the great message. Regardless of those facts, you can have the life that you want. I really mean that. And I didn't used to either know that or believe it. I believed with all my heart that those external circumstances, the behavior of my spouse or my kids or my exes, I've been, married and divorced 3 times, sadly. I didn't learn how to do that very well those times. Now I'm with an eternal partner forever and ever. Next month we'll celebrate 17, start our 18th year, and it's just the beginning of 1,000,000 years. She's an angel, a holy being. I can't figure out in any universe how I got that. But anyway, here's the message. You can have what you want. And the secret to having it is to examine your relationship with reality. Reality is just what is. It's hot today. It's cold today. No, that's not even true. It is a certain temperature today. I decide if that's cold. I decide if it's hot. I decide if that's comfortable or uncomfortable. I decide if I'm going to complain or not. We live in what I call a context straitjacket. Now, let's look at the election. For the folks that think the election was a disaster, the context or belief structure, context is like your beliefs and experiences, is that if this outcome happens, then the world will fall apart, freedoms will disappear, and the universe will end, more or less. So that is the context, and when a certain event happens, then anyone with that context views every event as confirmation. The other way is also true. The other side, there were mainly 2 sides. I live in Canada, and there's more than 2 parties here. So the elections are quite different, and control switches back and forth between parties. There's 3 main ones, conservative, liberal, and New Democrat. And there's some smaller parties. And generally, there's coalition governments, and it works completely differently. And I think the U.S. could take some lessons from that. But anyway, your context my context determines how we view events. But it's just my context. So when I say the great news is you can have what you want, it starts by first understanding that I have a bias, a view, an interpretation sort of built in of what everything means. How that affects my life is if I have the idea built in that I can't make more than a certain amount of money, or when I do things, they're going to fail, or that no matter what I try, resistance pushes against me, so might as well not give up. So might as well give up, or might as well not, go after stuff because it doesn't really matter anyway. Duh. If that is my system of beliefs that's way down deep, then that's what ruins or runs, I won't say ruin, it runs my life. And as long as I choose to remain ignorant, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but oblivious, not aware of that truth that my context, my lenses decide what everything means and therefore limit my growth, then I can't create anything because every effort goes through that barrier of belief. So the most important work I can do first is I try to build the ultimate life. Now, I talk about that. I have a podcast called Your Ultimate Life. I just recorded episode 932 yesterday. We'll be at 1,000 sometime next summer. I'm excited. We do 2 a week. It's about creating your own life with purpose, prosperity, and joy. And that means creating the money you need to live the life you want. It means creating the relationships you want to have absolute joy, all that you want. And you might look at me and say, yeah, but I can't do that. Well, I know you can't because you already know you can't. And I'm starting later today a book challenge, talking to people about how to write books, why it matters to write a book. And if you're not part of it and you've ever thought about writing a book or creating a course, then go there, www.dreambuildwriteit.com. Go there and join us today. It doesn't even cost anything, except an hour of your time each day this week. www.dreambuildwriteit.com. Now, there's lots of people. I talk to them. I set my world up so I meet a few, 5 to 10 new people every week, just because I want to. And I didn't used to think I could do that or that I would enjoy it. I love it. I've changed my context. I love meeting them. And I don't do it in the term of prospecting to see how much money I can get or clients. I do it because I genuinely have learned to love people. And I have realized my context has changed, that you listening right now, you're a gold mine. I need to know you. I want to know you. I want to hear your life story. I want to hear who you are, what your aspirations are, what you want to do. And if there's any way I can help you get there, man, I'm all in. That's what I do. And, my profession is called a coach. I use the word alchemist sometimes because part of it's science and part of it's magic. And the magic part is understanding that when we understand and challenge what we believe is possible, then we unlock amazing resources and power that we already have, but we're not using. So the great message is you can have whatever you want. The other part of that message, if you think of what's the other shoe is you got to do something different, because what you're doing right now got you what you have right now. Duh. Okay, so I had a beautiful chance to speak with someone yesterday, and this individual was telling me about a partnership they're in, a business and partnership, where one of the partners is a little bit unethical, not breaking laws, but doing things that they're not comfortable with, and they were trying to figure out how to shield themselves in the business, and the answer is really obvious. End the business relationship. Now, maybe that can't be done immediately, but then start with a goal. Okay, by X number of months, I'm going to change who I am and what I'm doing so the business is done. This relationship ends because I can't control the behavior or the beliefs of this other business partner. Okay. But I can control who I'm in business with, what I do, and therefore how I feel. And I'm speaking as if I were that partner, I have the ability to create a business I want, I love, I enjoy. And the only thing that stops me is believing that I can't, because when I believe I can't, I don't do any actions. I'm finishing up song 94. I have 91 songs in commercial release. If you want to hear any of them, look my name up on Spotify. I have tons of music. And some of it's like EDM and jazz and meditation music. The last 35 songs, or something almost 40, have been songs about our capability, our possibility, what we are, messages of encouragement, of recovery, of growth, of health, of wealth, of taking control of our lives. And I didn't learn that lesson until I was in my 50s. But you know what? I'm 68. I'll be 69 next month. And I am just loving every second of my life. And that is a function of this message, the news that I have for you. You can create whatever you want, but only if you do the work. Now, if you want help with that, That's all I do. That's my work. It's my life. It's my love. It's my business. I'm committed to helping 300 million people this year create wealth and impact or make a difference in the world. And how each person does it is unique to them. Isn't that fun? We're all that unique. But that's what I'm about. Every place I talk, I'm speaking next week at a conference, and then in December I've got another one, and so I speak in a lot of places, but the message is the same. You can have what you want. You're going to have to change who you're being and what you believe, because what we're being and what we believe is what got us where we are right now. But the possibility is, what if anything's possible? What if you really can? And you can argue and say, I can't. Okay. Or you can say, well, what if it's true? What if I can? I invite you to get a hold of me. The URL on the screen, KellanFlukigerMedia.com. Go there. It's a way to get a hold of me there. Or follow me on one of the socials or something. Reach out, because my mission is to help you get the purpose, the prosperity, and the joy you want from your life. So if you're not living every day in absolute jumping up and down joy, what are you waiting for? If you're interested in writing a book or creating some kind of program, then go right this minute, because our program starts in a couple hours. DreamBuildWriteIt.com. Don't forget the www. For some reason you need it. www.DreamBuildWriteIt.com. Go there. Join us. Love to see your beautiful face. We'll see you tomorrow.